The 9 o'clock news is over on BBC1 now, while here on 2 in a moment, Red Dwarf
has lost its magic. Post Bradford, Heysel and then Hillsborough, it's safety legislation that now dominates. Over 10,000 once watched here, now the limit is under 4. 2 policemen are usually on duty, today 100. Telford's fans have come to expect a place in the first round and a cup run to follow. Any complacency was shaken midway through the first half as Walsall took the lead through Rimmer, a welcome moment for a club relegated last season and now near the bottom of the 3rd division. In the second half, Telford forced their visitors to defend, which they did with determination. Walsall, after all, have their own cup traditions to protect, which they underlined 4 minutes from time with a crisply taken goal by Birchin, and then, moments later, with another, equally emphatic, from Forbes. It was Telford's first home cup defeat by a league side in 20 years. As such, it might even be described as a shock. Telford 0, Walsall 3.
Seemingly unstoppable All Blacks swept Ireland aside in the Rugby Union International in Dublin, scoring 3 tries to win by 23 points to 6.
A confrontation of rare passion prefaced by menacing Irish defiance in the face of the Haka war dance. But Irish bravado was to prove no match for All Black magic as John Gallagher bewitched a valiant defence with a brilliant try. Not till late in the second half did Ireland crack again, relentless All Black pressure finally setting up Terry Wright. Then a try epitomising All Black power and endurance. Shelford crashing over to seal a 23-6 victory, though the scoreline ill reflected Ireland's courageous contribution.
And more success for the jockey Peter Scudamore. He's at last broken the all-time record for National Hunt winners. After an agonising wait of a week, including 2 falls in the last 2 days, Peter Scudamore finally beat John Frankham's career record of 1,138 winners on the favourite Arden in the 1:30 at Ascot.
Arden being challenged by Athens Gate. Peter Scudamore just holding on. He's won it. Arden has won it from Athens Gate second.
But despite the record, there are still targets left for Scudamore.
There's an awful lot to do. I'd love to win a national and a Gold Cup, and if I can ride for Mr. Pipe and Charlie for a bit longer, I'll be delighted.
The BBC's annual Children in Need appeal is heading for a new record. Donations totalling more than £17 million have already been received. The money was donated during 30 hours of live broadcasting, which ended early this morning. Once all the contributions have been received, the final sum is expected to be more than £20 million. The total last year was £17.5 million. The viewers' generosity has been praised.
And when you get a little girl given her a week's salary of £60, or a young fella given his pound pocket money, and then somebody else, some big company donating 275,000, that's the measure of it. But it's as important to get the 50p as it is to get the £250,000.
And that's all from the newsroom for now. Good night.
Later this evening, there's a special news report on the conclusion of tonight's Paris summit of Western leaders, including Mrs. Thatcher, on the recent events in Eastern Europe. 11:30 here on BBC1.
This Tuesday, the BBC brings you another landmark in television history with the first live coverage of the House of Commons. The day begins on BBC1 with the state opening of Parliament by the Queen, the procession that comes here from Buckingham Palace, and all the glittering ceremonial in the House of Lords. And then in the afternoon on BBC2, our cameras for the first time cover a live debate from the House of Commons, the debate on the Queen's speech, in which the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition will argue out the policies the government's putting forward. I'll be there with Brian Curtoys inside the chamber and with Christopher Jones to explain the House of Commons procedures. And at 8:10 on BBC2, Commons on Camera. I'll be talking to MPs and to a live studio audience about the impact this first day has made, and about whether it's a true reflection of the way the House of Commons works, or whether it's going to turn it into a television circus. So for the most comprehensive coverage of our democracy at work, join BBC Television this Tuesday.
Good evening to you. Most parts of the country dry this evening and probably set to stay that way through much of the coming night as well. Just a couple of exceptions, notably a little bit of patchy rain still around in central and northern parts of Scotland, but that's tending to die out and travel its way northwards too. Quite a lot of cloud down to the southwest. There is a threat of showers during the night. Many of the areas will stay dry, but there'll be an increase of cloud, starting off clear in the east, but I think even there we'll see some cloud developing. It'll be rather low and grey, misty, and form some patches of fog, probably over the higher ground, particularly in parts of Yorkshire already and Humberside up over the hills there. Tonight the temperatures, well, not too important because it's not going to be too cold. 4 to 6 in the north, around a 7 or 8 in the east, but generally a mild night in this southwest corner, close to 9 or 10 degrees Celsius, close to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Now down to the southwest we've got this huge area of low pressure swirling around, and that's going to have the effect of just sliding these weather fronts past the southwest corner of the country during tomorrow. So it's parts of Cornwall in particular that are at risk from some rain, and at the same time we'll see some rain becoming more persistent and just nudging its way down from the north in towards the Shetland Islands. Sandwiched in between the two, well, a good deal of cloud to start off the day and maybe the odd little bit of rain running north, but as today I think they'll tend to die out as we go through the afternoon, and we'll see some brighter weather coming too, particularly in eastern parts of England and on the sheltered side of western Scotland. Quite a breezy all day, windy, perhaps even the odd gale down in the southwest, but generally not too cold.
If I were on my way to spend my life with somebody I'd only met 3 times, I might really be frightened.
Why do you suppose people always want to cry at weddings?
I've never been at my best in the morning. It's nothing to do with you. It's just a matter of temperament. So I thought it might be better if in the future Yao Tzu were to bring you breakfast on a tray in your room.
Just as you like. Are you married? No. I'm like you. I'm an outcast.
There are still many things in this country you've not understood. Sometimes hard decisions you may never understand or forgive.
The Ginger Tree, a major new drama for Sunday evenings on BBC1.
The highlights in Match of the Day at 10:30 this evening will come from the first round games between Blackpool and Bolton, Kettering and Northampton. Desmond Lynham sets us off on the road to Wembley in an hour and 15 minutes. And now, as they say, for something completely different. Monty Python's Flying Circus was first shown on BBC1 in October 1969, conceived, written and performed by Graham Chapman, John Cleese, Terry Gilliam, Eric Idle, Terry Jones and Michael Palin. In all, 4 series were made. Since then, the members of the team have gone their separate ways, and sadly, after tonight's programme was completed, Graham Chapman died. What follows is a celebration of 20 years of Monty Python. This is BBC1.
Good evening. In the late 1960s, a comic force emerged which was so original, so zany, so fabulously different, that many people felt that the world of entertainment had been changed forever. Intelligent, some would say even intellectual, yet massively popular. Subtle, but also simple. Dangerous, but warm. Visual, but still enormously literate. Big-hearted, generous, anarchic. And above all, funny. Brilliantly funny. But enough about me. What about this Monty Python crowd? Well, some people like them, I guess. The Pythons. Undoubtedly one of the greatest writer-performer teams of the 20th century. Young, talented, and virile, and incredibly, they were British. 6 fantastically gifted, unforgettable guys. John, Paul, George, Ringo, Bob, and one other unforgettable guy. They were tall, they were beautiful, they were crazy. I'm not going to say that bit. I can't. Because it's a lie, that's why. I'll tell you why I can't say it, because it's not the... I love them. Over the next hour, I'm going to be showing you a selection of the very best of Monty Python's work. Much of it has been seen before. In fact, many, 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 many times before. But never in this form. But first, we have a little surprise for you. Some brand new Monty Python material never before seen in this country. If you've never seen Monty Python before, you won't have never seen anything like this. Enjoy.
Dürer hat nie eine Leihwagenfirma betrieben.